So I just made a completely destructible map in the strongest battlegrounds. And this map took me a long time. However, with this new editor, you can really make a lot of cool things. And this whole entire map, like I said, is able to be destroyed. It makes for some crazy fights. I had just made this map, so if you guys want to see me add anything to this map, then be sure to comment down below what you think should be added. Personally, I'm probably going to add some telephone poles and stuff, because right now the streets are pretty empty. But other than that, I feel like this map is pretty much complete, so again, if you guys want to see anything added, be sure to tell me. But without further ado, let's get into the showcase of this fully destructible map. So I'm making this video pretty early today, so sadly I won't have anyone to help me. However, there's a lot of moves solo that you can use to destroy buildings, and one of my favorites is Scatter, this move right here, because it just annihilates everything in its path. It's actually crazy. But yeah, as you can see there, even the fences everything is destructible. Except for certain things I made not destructible, like the road and stuff. However, those are exceptions, because if those were to destroy, then the map would just look weird. So I made these cool little statues. These were the first thing I made. This middle area was the first thing I made in the map. But yeah, everything can be destroyed here. And then after making that middle part, I decided I was going to make a building, and this was actually the first building I made. Yeah, this whole thing is also destructible, like everything. So you can see the building has even like rooms to it too. Probably shouldn't destroy this or I won't be able to get up. Also, in case you can't get up, I have ladders on the side here. Yeah, moving on from that, the second thing I made was this little apartment building thing right here. Right here, you see we just have little apartment buildings that are kind of empty. I'm wondering if I should add anything inside. Maybe I will in the future. But for now, just big old empty buildings that are going to be destroyed. The thing about adding things inside of buildings is that it will get in the way when you're 1v1ing, unless you're using like some big destructible ability, but who knows, we'll see. Why don't you guys tell me in the description whether I should add like accessories and decorations and stuff like that. But yeah, after that building, I actually built this over here. A little like rundown building, and the reason I say it's rundown is because, well, it breaks when you step on some parts of it. So this whole building just kind of falls apart. Not just that, but it is also destructible. Right outside of this thing, you can actually see the crane. We're gonna get to that later. But yeah, following this thing, I made this big old weird light ball tower thing. I was thinking I want to make like a tower, like a building like that, but not run down. But then I thought we're kind of overdoing the buildings, so I decided I was going to make something different. And yeah, it's just a big tower that you just jump up, and at the top there's a big old ball that is also destructible. Yeah, just kind of out of place from the rest of the stuff, but you always gotta have one out of place building when you're making maps. I just feel like that's right. And then right here we've got a parking lot. Big parking lot. The road here is actually not destructible, and I did that on purpose because we gotta also have a building where not everything gets destroyed, like for example the floor below you. It just makes it 1v1ing a lot better. And yeah, personally I think this is probably one of the best areas for 1v1s because it just feels so open, and there's a lot of destructible walls but not too much, so it's really nice. And then here I actually skipped these little bus stops that I made, but yeah, they can also be destroyed. But yeah, and then after that I actually went and made a little forest area right here with a nice little cabin. If you want to chill out by the unlit fire, you can do so, or you can just destroy it. And then right here I have a bus stop that just breaks when you step on it. And yeah, this whole building is very thin, so when it gets destroyed, it gets sliced up into very thin pieces, which I think is pretty cool. And then for the last thing that I've built so far is this big crane. Now originally I was going to make this like a garbage dump area or something. That's why there's garbage bins right there, but I decided nah, it's probably better. We gotta have a crane, you know? A destructible map's gotta have some type of construction thing. Yeah, this big old crane is actually one of the funner ones I made because I got to come up here. I made the crane, and then right here I was able to rotate it just a little bit. It makes it look like it's like moving stuff, or it's movable. Really cool. And then yeah, that's about it for this whole map. There's obviously the trees. The last thing actually I made was in that corner. I made a little more forest in that corner because it felt empty. But I do want to keep a little bit of empty areas, like right here, right over there. A couple just empty areas for 1v1ing because you've got to balance out the cluttered areas and then the open areas. But yeah, apart from everything being destructible, it's really cool to have like a different type of map to play in. I feel like it would be cool in the future to see some improvements to this build mode. I know it's new, so of course they're not gonna have everything, but stuff like gravity would be really cool to see. If you could somehow connect items and stuff, and if their primary part gets destroyed, everything else just falls or something. I feel like that would be pretty cool. Another thing that would be really nice to see is like grouping. If you could group things and then duplicate too, Control D, it'll make building a lot easier. And honestly, if there's some building updates in the future, I might just make another map, or maybe connect them, like have these tunnels connect to a different map, one to another one over there. That would create a pretty big map though. It'd probably be hard to keep track of everyone in it. But yeah, let's get someone a little more destructive. Honestly, let's try out Gojo. Gojo's really fun with his repulsibility when it comes to destruction. The projectile itself isn't as fast as I thought it was, or it might be the delay with the braking, I'm not sure, but it seems like it moves actually pretty slow. Or maybe it's just because this map is really big and the travel time is like a while compared to the other one, because I feel like in the other map it felt quicker, like hitting trees and stuff. Oh yeah, okay. It might be the destruction delay, but with these transparent objects, they go untransparent when it hits them, so you can actually see how quick it's traveling. Yeah, so that's pretty fast. And I noticed with Gojo, you can even do a little bit of this. Just destroy everything in the path. However, when you go to destroy bigger things, it kind of bugs out. I'll just show you right here. Just gets stuck right there. And that's not only for Gojo, but that's for like a lot of abilities in the game. There's a lot of times where when you're breaking an object, it'll bug out, but I'm pretty sure that's just because the developers aren't used to destruction mechanics, so there's probably a lot of bugs that happen, especially with maybe the parts having an error and it just breaks the ability because of that. But you can notice it, especially if you're in like this building and you're just spamming abilities. Sometimes your character will just break with Genos and all that type of all those characters. But surprisingly, well no, this ability does break too, but it doesn't break your character. It just, once it breaks, it stops, but it still destroys quite a bit, so. See right there, it only destroyed like a bit of it until it broke, and then just, I think, fell through the ground or something. And it's fine when it's like a little bit of parts, like just like trees or something. But whenever it comes to like very grouped up things, or a lot of grouped up destructible parts, I think that's when it bugs out. And that must mean it's having like, maybe it's getting overloaded with like the parts, detecting the parts and all that stuff. Maybe that's the reason it keeps bugging out. Right here you can see it's fine. It just goes through and destroys everything right there. Though it did stop at the house because that had a lot of parts. But yeah, it's other than the bugs, it's really cool. It's like Jujutsu Shenanigans or whatever the game's called. Yeah, look at that, that's so sick. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. And again, if you guys want to play in this map or something, be sure to join the Discord down below and tune into the live streams. And I'll see you guys later.